radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
One, two, whoop, whoop.
All right, we're here live, 3:30 Eastern. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Villa?
Man, I'm outstanding, and I'm looking forward to a great show today. This is Auto Dealer Live. We want to thank you for tuning in. If you're in the automotive community today is going to be a day where we've been really anticipating this day for quite a long time. It's going to be the pitch off.
Yeah.
We've called it all types of things. I think officially it's called
The Battle of the Pitches.
The Battle of the Pitches. Pitch Perfect. We didn't want to get sued, so we could say that, I guess, live on the air now. But it's going to be the Battle of the Pitches, man. And really, honestly, we've got some great people, people that we know, but really, honestly, on both sides, we know them all, and it's really they've stepped up to the plate. We actually kind of stayed out of the recruiting process. You and I did. We've let our producers really reach out to some people. We actually had a lot of people that we had to turn down. We picked two from 3 different categories, and I'm very excited. And so what's going on today, man? So really, let's talk about the Battle of the Pitches and what it looks like to our Auto Dealer Live listening audience.
Well, first of all, I think it's a huge opportunity for dealers because, instead of getting that phone call or solicitation, now you're watching Auto Dealer Live, you're sitting back in your chair, you can really objectively take a look at some of the things that are out there that might be advantageous for you to have at your dealership. But the biggest advantage there is that you're going to be pitched, but you're going to have the luxury of not really having to respond. You can really sit there unencumbered and really soak in what these particular vendors are saying. And these vendors are going to have a really short opportunity to really bring it. I mean, bring their best, because essentially what they're saying is, hey, Mr. Dealer, this is what I got.
Do you want some?
Yeah. Do you want some? Here's an opportunity. So
yeah, and
it's going to be exciting.
It is. And if you're sitting there before you roll your eyes, because here's the deal. I want to say this. I've owned the marketing company in the automotive industry for 20 years. Okay, you've been in the business, in the automotive side, retail side for over 2 decades. So and I've been on the side who's tried to get a hold of and solicit dealerships. So if you're sitting here,
you used to call me.
I used to call you.
Hang up on you.
I did.
No,
I
not
did.
really.
But probably. However, if you're sitting there right now, you're sitting there going, well, wait a second, man. Why am I listening before you click the button off of this show? Why am I listening when I get 20 to 30 calls a week from vendors that are trying to get my attention? Why in the world would I subject myself to a radio program, okay, to listen to a pitch? Well, here's why. Because first of all, it's going to be extremely entertaining, but that's just beside the point. This is not a normal pitch. These are 6 of the best in the industry that are working collectively with thousands of automotive dealers across the nation, producing millions, I would say, over the course of their, collectively. I mean, I know we have some big companies that are on today. I mean, I'd say at least into the hundreds of thousands of auto sales that are responsible at the hands of these vendors collectively, and you're listening to them. We have a CRM, 2 CRM companies. We have 2 lead providers. Now, I know that's a very, very broad category, and we've actually picked two from opposite ends of the spectrum. And then we have two digital marketing companies, and I know that's also a broad end of the spectrum, but they're going to be talking about, look, not just what can I bring to the table, the benefit for them being here. Obviously, dealers, you could be more further exposed to them, but really the deal is they love the auto industry, as do we, and they're here to talk about, in their mind. See, let me kind of, I want to digress for a second. I want to tell you that, we were very careful to vet companies that can't sell snake oil. So if you're a dealer, you're getting 20 to 30 calls a week. I would say that you could probably hang up on 70% of those calls because they don't care about you. 70% of the people that contact the dealership, if they start the conversation with, hey, Mr. Dealer, hey, Mr. Dealer, hey, Mr. Dealer, I'd like to, then go ahead and hang up because they don't care about you. But if they call and say, hey, Mr. Dealer, clients of ours, hey, Mr. Dealer, you would like to see, hey, Mr. Dealer, what are your needs? Yeah. Then maybe you need to listen to them. And we've vetted some of the greatest out there. They start conversations out that way. They care about you. And they're here to talk to you about how they're passionate about the auto industry and how they can help. So we're gonna take their passion and allow them to display it. And then, of course, the counter or the debate or maybe the disagreement will be, hey, I understand that. And that although that may be a good move, this is what we do better. This is my opinion. And so these are brave companies. These are great companies, and they're going to be talking to you. And if nothing else, and if you never buy anything from any of these guys on this show, okay, which is not the objective of ours, okay, you, the dealer, may know why you need to part ways with who you are using or what you need to look for, or do I buy from that company that just talked to me yesterday? Or do I keep this appointment that I had for tomorrow? You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to learn what to do, what not to do, maybe what not to have in your budget. Yeah, that's what I see.
Absolutely. And
that was a long.
And I'm sure, each of these representatives, not only are they successful companies, like Dave said, we've vetted the companies, wouldn't just put anyone on the air, but more importantly, each individual that comes on representing their own company, they're here because, man, they're sold out. I mean, they really, truly believe, hey, this is the answer. We are the best, and here's why. So what we're going to hear today, just like you covered some of the points, but we're going to expose maybe some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses. And the cool thing is we're going to get at least two different perspectives of successful companies. So I think that really is going to make for an interesting dynamic as we move through the show.
Absolutely. And here's what we're going to do. Mike, I'm going to change the order of this on the fly here because we did have a slight technical difficulty with video. And we just found out literally as we were coming on air. I want to go to commercial break first. I want to thank our sponsors and people that literally, and by the way, not one person on this show, we did it on purpose. If there are sponsors that operate in any of these genres, they aren't on the show today. We are completely down the middle, unbiased. These are companies that we do and are aware of, but they have no monetary involvement. And Mike, I want to jump the commercial break real quick. And so we'll be back in what, Mike? 3 minutes. We'll be back in 3 minutes. I see them. They're on the air. Don't go anywhere. This is the battle of the pitches. I believe, is CRM first? Yes. CRM is first. You don't want to go anywhere. We've got two great CRM companies that are going to talk to you about what you need to know as an auto dealer in 2015 regarding CRM. Don't go anywhere. Pitch Perfect is the next up.
Cellcology salespeople are some of the coolest salespeople in the country, and they sell a lot of cars. Why? Because they build amazing brands that their customers never forget. And they collect hundreds of referral leads every month from the customers they sell. On top of that, they partner with local businesses to exponentially grow their marketplace awareness within their community. And they follow up like a boss with sold and unsold customers. If you'd like to have a team that does the same thing, please go to cellcology.com or call 612-387-7776.
Hello, I'm Alan Ram, president and founder of Alan Ram's Proactive Training Solutions. Let's face it, good managers are defined not by what they do when they have a showroom full of customers, but more by what they do when there are no customers in the showroom. In 2015, whether you like it or not, the car business is all about conversion of opportunities and driving traffic. All those great closers and desk people are not doing you a whole lot of good if your dealership is not converting effectively on the telephone and internet. As an owner or dealer, when you see 5 salespeople standing by the front door doing nothing, don't kid yourself. Your dealership is not being effectively managed. Management by Fire is a 2.5-day intensive course conducted entirely by me that teaches managers how to effectively manage in today's automotive industry. Simple processes for driving high-quality traffic. For more information on upcoming events, please call my team at 866-996-4665. Once again, 866-996-4665.
All right, we're back, and we're live, and you're listening to Auto Dealer Live, the show where dealers go. We want to thank you guys for listening. We want to thank our supporters, and you guys are just great, and just tremendous feedback regarding today's show. It's going to be a little unique. Let's explain it, and then we're going to go ahead and bring our guest on. If you're watching it live, I'm going to ask the guys that are on the panel just stay on video. We're capturing the screen. We had a little issue that didn't occur until about 20 seconds prior to the show launching, which would have required us to reboot a computer that would have cut the broadcast off. So the 4 that out of the 6 that are on video, we're capturing that screen. So once the show's edited after, you will be edited into the permanent video as if it's happening live there. So so I want to encourage you to go back and watch that and make sure that you can put some names with the faces. And but on the phone right now, we're going to have all 6 on, but we're going to be breaking this down into 3 categories. We have CRM, we have lead provider, and then we have digital. Then we have a lead provider, and then we have digital marketing companies. And so, without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring our guest on. We're going to introduce 2 at a time, Dave, although all of them will be on with us. And under the CRM category.
Yeah, the next up for our CRM category is going to be AutoLoop. And with AutoLoop, we have Tammy LeBlue and Tony Petruzzelli. Tammy and Tony, how are you?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Great to have you here today. And with Dealer Socket, we have Justin Dixon. Are you with us, Justin?
I'm here. Glad to be here.
Great.
Well, thank you guys for being with us and for being patient here as we kind of reversed order. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. And,
Sure.
And we're going to have to really run through this pretty quickly because we're only going to have a couple of minutes, and I know you could probably share all day your product. But the main thing is I really want you to speak to dealers, directly to dealers right now. This is really an opportunity for you to share why AutoLoop, why Dealer Socket. So I'm going to start.
Matter of fact, I want to say one thing.
Ahead,
we
Dave.
actually have a guest, and we'll keep it as a surprise right now. But we actually have a dealer sitting in the studio with us.
Yes, we do. Yes, we
So
do.
he's going to be. Yeah, so we actually have a live dealer sitting in the studio with us that drove in today for some interviews and some things that we're doing. But just wanted to let you know that. So you've got one live here. Hopefully he doesn't jump on and out of he can contain his excitement.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask. I'm going to start with Tammy and and Tony, and I'm going to ask you to take only about 2 minutes to really kind of just hit the highlights that you can. And then I'm going to give each of you, and then we'll give Justin 2 minutes, and then we'll have you respond as well. So you'll have another short opportunity. But Tammy, Tony, go ahead and speak to dealers right now. Why Autoloop?
Well, why Autoloop? And we're talking about CRM right now. So Autoloop acquired Car Research. So for me, as you all know, my success was with Car Research. So I'm speaking about a product, not just a company that I came to work for, but something that I individually use, and I know that it works. The company, from the installation to the servicing to the partnering with the dealership to the training that we provide, the CRM is just unbelievable. And again, I was very successful with it, so I know that it works. So it's easy for me to go in and show a dealer how to implement it on his sales floor and then implement it with his internet department, to bring the leads through the computer, to interact with social media, his BDC with it, and make it very successful for him.
Okay, and Justin?
Yep.
Why
Yeah,
dealer?
absolutely. So,
Go ahead. Why Dealer Socket?
absolutely. So I would just kind of start by pointing to the back history with Dealer Socket. Been in business since 2001. The owners of the company, Jonathan Ord and Brad Perry, both started off in various CRM verticals. So the inception of the company was always about CRM, right? They got inside of the walls of the dealership the first year. They worked for free. It was, how can we streamline processes within the dealership and utilize this technology to better improve and enhance performance? And so you fast forward, you look at the history of Dealer Socket. We came into the market leading the curve with web-based technology. This is back before people even knew what web-based was, right? This is 2001. You fast forward at all the different enhancements and developments that we've done over the years, even more recently back in 2010, this mobile and applications came out, and how can we utilize that inside of the dealership CRM platform? And we were first to market with that mobile. Not only that, first to market with native. And you continue to see that in the development, the progression with the company, all the way up to who we are today, 6,500 dealers around the nation, over 200,000 users. And just proud to be a part of a company like Dealer Socket.
Let me throw this out there, Tammy and Tony, and we'll give you time to respond. But okay, so dealers are listening right now, and obviously, two things. Number one, dealers, okay, tomato. That's what they're saying. Not just about you guys, about CRM companies. I go to a conference and I walk down an aisle, and I can't close my eyes without running into a CRM company. So dealers, A, that are saying that, address that. Tammy and Tony, and then B, if dealers are listening, I mean, why Autoloop versus Dealer Socket? I mean, you guys are on, again, we had probably 4 other companies, that are out there, great companies, won't mention their names, that you guys beat to the punch, and we solidified this opportunity. So talk about why you versus Dealer Socket. I mean,
tell me the first question. What was your first question really quick again? You said tomato about the CRM and how dealers are seeing CRMs everywhere.
Yeah.
The thing with the big issue today, and I was in retail for 20 plus years, is CRM, and we're actually having to embrace that now, and you're living it in your dealership. So to me, it's a CRM that you're going to utilize and use. So I don't care which CRM company you have. First of all, you have to have the buy-in from the top to the bottom, and then everyone has to utilize it. So why Car Research over Dealer Socket? Me personally, again, I trained on Car Research. I trained on Dealer Socket and Solutions when I was with the Ord Group. 25 stores. It's user-friendly. I love the showroom control, the process. It's much like when we used to log our customers. It's easy to navigate. And I think that for me, I could get the buy-in with my girls who had never been in the car business before, and implement the processes and make it easier for us to do every day.
Justin.
Yep. So I think there's a couple of reasons for that. Bigger picture with CRM in the automotive industry. You have dealerships that love it. You have dealerships that don't see much value in it still, believe it or not. A lot of that has to do with, which is crazy, right? I mean, this is something Tammy and I would agree 100% on. But really, when you look at the difference between the dealerships and the CRMs and what they choose to go with and across the board, it really, dealerships need to kind of analyze first, what do they need specifically for their custom processes, right? How do they need that to work so that we can accommodate the dealership's needs? And when selecting a CRM system, they should take that into consideration, right? Does this CRM system allow me to perform and do things in the dealership way that we have done? And can I improve and enhance my performance, my practices, and my processes based upon customization that's allowable? And, I would say kind of bigger picture on Dealer Socket and why I love our CRM system. If you break down any given component, okay, so the various pieces, we've got service components, we've got desking components, we've got equity mining, but break down each one and start going into the details. Okay, when it comes to our equity mining piece, it's industry leading. It competes head to head with other equity mining pieces in the industry. Right. Full calculations, deal structure, equity, banking, incentive data drips into the CRM system. There's no corners that are cut across the board when you continue to work through the full arsenal of product offering that Dealer Socket brings to the table. We certainly take pride in being at the forefront when it comes to that technology. And then on top of that, the ease of use and making sure that we're putting that into a format that's easily accessible and understandable for the average dealership and sales reps to be able to get that buy-in that the dealerships need and accommodate based upon the process of that dealership so that it's working effectively and that the dealers across the board are buying in and getting full use of the system as expected.
I have a quick...
And I wanted to let Tony Petrozelli, he's here with us. Auto is required for our research. And we have cutting-edge marketing, data mining, equity mining now. Tony, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think really what we acquired the CRM company because it was the only piece we didn't have in our arsenal. We're very heavily involved with manufacturers. We're national vendor for Subaru of America. We just got a contract, obviously, with Mercedes-Benz North America and globally. We're in other countries right now in Australia with Toyota, Subaru. So we've had a tremendous amount of technology in the company, but we didn't have a CRM. So we bought the CRM not only to acquire the customers, but really to analyze the business. And we wanted to take a look at really what was out there and what people were using and what they were not using. So, we're rebuilding the whole platform. It will be our first new platform will be out in July. And basically what we did was we're trying to build the best product, and we looked at 100% of the product and really the 20% the dealers use. And we wanted to make the best 20% utilization product in the country. Because 80% of the CRM, some of the things that they use have no value whatsoever.
Right.
We've always built our software with keep it simple, stupid. Because if you make it easy for someone to utilize, they'll utilize it every day. If you make it complicated, they're going to just fall off the face of the earth. So.
Yeah, and I think one of the points there is that more and more dealerships are expecting their CRM system to accommodate all the various touch points across the board. Right? They don't like logging into separate tools. They don't want to go through separate systems. And the reason is when you consider what CRM used to be and what CRM is today, CRM used to be, hey, this is a place for me to put in my data. This is a place for me to log my customers. Right? Maybe a little bit of ILM, internet leads kind of coming back and dripping through and what have you. Really, it's changed in the approach with the consumer. It's no longer about a place for data storage. This is a place to truly manage and maintain relationship. And so Dealer Socket, our mindset is we want to enable the dealership, empower the dealership to own that customer experience. And how do you own it? If you're breaking down between separate tools, that's a break in communication. If my service and my sales, my mining tool and my various pieces and components in the dealership aren't speaking, my notes aren't carrying over, how does that customer, what kind of experience does that create for that customer? Because at the end of the day, if I'm a Ford dealership and I've got another Ford dealership down the street from me in my market, what really separates and distinguishes between those two Ford dealerships? Product for product.
Right.
We're on par with each other, right? The difference is going to be in the relationship and the experience that's provided to that customer. And the only way that you're going to get that is we need to have a CRM system that enables us to stay within one tool. We need to have the websites attached and associated with this. We need to have that service piece, that desking piece. We need to enable the dealerships to own that entire customer experience, and that is what Dealer Socket is today. And if you look at moving forward, the future for Dealer Socket continues to move into more and more of those components. And I kind of dropped one of those recent acquisitions. Right, the purchase of the websites, and again, owning and enabling the dealerships to own that part of the experience, which is truly managing that relationship. And at the end of the day, that is what's setting apart our dealerships from the dealership next door. Okay? So, I mean, those are some of those different nuances to things that are important in making sure that, selecting a CRM system, that it enables that type of functionality and that type of environment for the customer.
Well, guys, thank you so much. We had to move on to a different subject, but real quick, Tammy, Tony, how does a dealer reach out to you?
You can reach out to me personally on my cell at 318-918-4616 or go to tammylablu@gmail.com. You can also reach out to AutoLoop, and it'll give you a demo. You can look at some things online for us, but you can reach me personally by my cell or my email.
Justin.
Yep, my cell phone as well. I'll just go ahead and drop the number here, 949-363-3821. That's my direct cell phone. You can also reach me, my email, which I know is on the side as well, but jdixon@dealersocket.com.
Thank you guys for being with us, and we had just some feedback here on Twitter. We had a couple tweets coming in. Tammy, someone asked, and we got to move on to a different subject. Someone said, "Did Tammy LeBlue really say there is no difference between CRM companies?" And I don't know.
I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter which one you have, guys. If you're not utilizing it, and I'm on the vendor side now. The key is to get the CRM, and what Justin said is very true. You have to accommodate the dealer from sales to service. It's one vendor communicating with all aspects and letting the dealer own their processes. But I personally believe Car Research is the best. I used it, it was. But if you're not utilizing it, it's irrelevant. So you got to get the buy-in from the top to the bottom.
And Justin,
yes, I do say it.
And Justin, is there a difference in CRM companies in your opinion?
So there is a difference between CRM companies, and I think that's if we just kind of step back a little bit and just look, these are separate companies, separate developments, separate approaches to how they basically work with their dealerships to accomplish similar goals and results. But there are better CRM companies at doing this than others. But I will say what Tammy is alluding to, and I think I kind of can speak on the cultural differences of. We work in an industry where that buying decision into a CRM company needs to involve from the top of the organization down to the bottom. And if a dealership, when we're starting, is, hey, listen, guys, let's bring our sales staff in. Let's have our sales team sit down and go through this and be a part of the decision. Let's have our managers involved. Now, managers are always there to help make the decision up front, but once they're there for the negotiation, but where are they in helping to ensure full buy-in and full usage once the product is in place?
Yep.
And so I think in some respects I agree culturally speaking on that process that Tammy might be alluding to as to why some of that kind of even across the board kind of junk in, junk out mentality. But on the other side of the fence, I would certainly argue that there is a difference in the details and the full function and performance of various CRMs throughout the market.
Well, Justin, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, Tammy and Tony, for joining us today. And go ahead, Justin. Tell us how dealers reach you real quick.
Yep, absolutely. So my direct email address and phone number, so it's jdixon@dealersocket.com, and my cell phone, 949-363-3821.
All right, guys, make sure you jump on Twitter, and you're already doing it now. This hashtag AutoDealerLive, hashtag CRM. Just tell us who proved their case. Tell us if you want to know anything else. You can tweet directly. Obviously, they're going to be watching Tammy, Tony, and Justin. Make sure you guys are watching out on Twitter. Let's see what dealers are saying, and let's see if there's any other questions that may come in. Let's move right on. The next up here in our vendor pitch-off, Pitch Perfect, the best pitch. Don't be a little pitch. I'm just kidding. Just steal something from Grant there, kind of switch the words. We have in the lead provider, and again, you're going to be seeing these guys all on the phone. We appreciate them, first of all, for hanging out a little bit and just kind of listening. I see J.D. Rucker nodding his head and smiling a little bit there as well. So, it's good. We all support one another. And we have Scott, and hopefully I'm saying this right, Scott Peckstein, who is with Auto by Tel, and he is on video with us. And then we have Chris Spears, and Chris is the national sales director for Buscador de Auto, which is part of the Koenig company. And this is really interesting here. We have two. This is not as simple necessarily as a CRM. debate or a CRM comparison, because these guys, when you say lead provider, geez, I don't know. I guess maybe the person that stands out on the corner with the sign saying, with the mascot suit on, could be a lead provider. So you have two people here that are completely 100% on the opposite ends of the field of lead providing. But here's the deal, dealer. This is why it's important. They're competing for the same dollars. When you have dollars that you want to spend for leads, okay, what are you going to do? And let me tell you something. Knowing this firsthand, okay, we work with several hundred dealerships every month, and you know what? Dealers have discretionary lead budget money left over. They spend money ahead of time. They budget it in up front, and when they have a couple of $1,000s left over, they don't want to go buy some hot dogs and balloons. What are they going to do? They're going to spend it on some lead provider. Where do I spend my money? It was the most overwhelming category that came through. So Scott and Chris, thank you guys for being with us. And I'm going to go ahead and go to Scott Peckstein first. Scott, you're with Auto by Tel. Talk to dealers that are listening, and they have this money left over. They have this contract they're ready to sign. And why should they use Auto by Tel for their leads? Starting
think about Auto by Tel, and you did pronounce my name correctly, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking for Chris's company, I can't say, I went online here and I looked at it a little bit, and I can't say anything negative. I know we're here and we're supposed to be competing, but, whether it's Auto by Tel or even Chris's company, or for any opportunity to spend $20, $21, $22 on a valid request, and get them into the dealership is still the most effective way, the most effective and efficient means for your money to get somebody in the dealership. NADA reminds us that the cost per unit sold on average is about $620, right? You need to spend $620 on average in traditional advertising to get somebody in the door and to buy a vehicle. If you think about that, it's spending $22 on, let's say, 100 leads. You buy 100 leads at $2,200. Even at an 8% close rate, you're somewhere around $275 per unit sold. So, even if you fell into a 4 or 5% close rate, which would not be good, it's still a very effective way in getting consumers through the front door. So, just speaking for third-party lead providers in general, whether that be Edmunds, a TrueCar, Auto by Tel, Chris Spears' company there, it's a great way to get consumers into your showroom for a very, very efficient cost.
Well, I think we'll agree on that. Scott, why Auto by Tel? What leads are you going to provide me? What specifically would I come to Auto by Tel for? And, what are some of the highlights of your company specifically?
Sure. So I've been with the company, like Tammy LeBleu. I used Auto by Tel on the dealer side. I worked at a Ford store in Southern California in the 1990s. I started May 29th of 2000 with Auto by Tel. I think that's a few days from now. I'm celebrating my 15th anniversary. So back then, that was when Trader still had a trade print. They had just recently come out online. We were the only first third-party lead provider back in the mid-90s. We created the game. Some competition came over the years. Dealix, Auto USA. We just announced that we had acquired Auto USA just a few days ago. Acquired Dealix a few days ago. Auto USA we had acquired a little over a year ago. And why Auto by Tel? Because Auto by Tel is best at basically acquiring leads. We generate the vast majority of the requests that we send to our consumer body. Basically, a new car request is a consumer. It's a price quote request. It's a consumer looking for a price on that vehicle. Unlike Edmunds, unlike TrueCar, unlike some of these other providers, we don't tell the consumer what to pay for the car. We don't tell the consumer what's a good deal or a bad deal. We leave that up to our dealers. We feel that the dealers are empowered to make that decision, and we don't want to get in the way. We do talk about MSRP, and we leave it at MSRP. On the used car side, they're VIN-specific vehicles, similar to Chris's site. So if you're getting a used car request from us, it's a price quote request on a used specific piece, a VIN-specific vehicle that we send to our dealers. If at the end of the day somebody sneaks through, gentlemen, and that request turns out to be invalid, 14-year-old kid, maybe a duplicate, something of that nature, we will take it back all day long. We make it extremely easy for our dealers to return any invalid leads that sneak through. Nobody's perfect. If we were to send you 100 requests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those were invalid, we would expect to hear from you, and we would replace that request. Really, really quick, we've gotten in some other verticals over the past couple years. Texting is one we're probably most excited about. Texting has already changed the way in which consumers buy vehicles and shop for vehicles. We had acquired a mobile company about 2 years ago. We feel that we're on the leading edge of texting. It's very, very simple. We take some code, we put it up on your website, and we help basically turned website visitors into text leads. So you can say that we're in the third-party lead game, but we're also in the first-party lead game, where we help dealers drum up incremental leads from their website via text or consumers shopping via payment, things of that sort. So why Autobytel? They were the first, and they're one of the last still out there. We're publicly traded. We bring in about $120 million a year, and we made up last year for 4.5% of all vehicles sold in the United States, new vehicles sold, those consumers had come through Autobytel. So we feel we've got a pretty big footprint.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Scott. And Chris, we'll go to you, but let me ask this question because I'm just, I'm a pot stirrer, so I'm just, and it's my show. So let me ask this question here and kind of see what you think. Obviously, we knew this. Autobytel's huge. These guys are publicly traded. Okay, my wife would, bigger's not better. And, necessarily, I'm just kidding. I don't know why. I'm going to get punched right in the face, because whenever I do that kind of stuff, she just gets mad. Well, let me say this, okay? And maybe it is. Maybe it's not. You know what? But I guess my question is, Chris, obviously Autobytel, they're giants, 4.5%. So if you go to a dealership, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. I've heard of Autobytel. So a dealer goes, that's who I'm going to go with. Well, here you are, okay? You come in, Chris, and you're trying to sell a dealer on using you, okay? And you know that you can't fight maybe with a big stick. What do? Why, Chris? Why Buscador de Auto? Matt's got all these like crazy names on this. Matt's name, first of all, you can't pronounce it. So why you versus Autobytel? Sell dealers that are listening right now.
Okay, so first of all, it's two companies. It's Koenigco and Buscador de Auto. The Buscador de Auto is our Spanish side of it. But to answer your question, Autobytel's been around for a long, long time. They're a huge company. There's a lot of dealers that really love them. They bring in, obviously, a lot of leads. So that's great. We do it a little bit differently. We generate leads through text, and we're not like Autobytel. We won't provide, 400, 500 leads a month. It's more like 30, 40 leads a month, but they're very, very high-quality targeted leads. So the way it works is we take a text short code, put it as an overlay over the dealer's inventory. So it'll be the first picture of every piece of inventory. So that way when the vehicle is posted on Cars.com, Auto Trader, Edmunds, you'll see an overlay that just says text Chris to 76626 to get your best deal, or text for a coupon. And when they text in, they immediately get a coupon back within 60 seconds. And then the dealer gets their phone number. It also tells the customer, hey, we'll be contacting you to make sure that you got the coupon. So now you have an open door to call the customer and say, hey, just want to make sure you got our coupon. By the way, what vehicle are you looking at? And the second part that we do is because a lot of people take time to get to leads, sometimes they get missed. The last thing you want is somebody to see your vehicle, fall in love with it, text in for a discount. It says that you're going to be contacting them, and you don't contact them for 2 hours. And what are they doing in the meantime? They're still shopping around. So the best thing you can do is connect with them when they're still right there looking at your vehicle. So the way that we do that is we have a system set up that as soon as somebody texts in, it sends them the coupon, tells them that we'll be calling them to make sure that they got it. 2 minutes later, our system automatically rings 3 of the salespeople at the store. Whoever picks up the phone first and presses 1, it automatically transfers to them. It'll say you've got a new lead from Koenigco on a new car lead or a used car lead, whichever it happens to be. And then it'll automatically start dialing the customer. So it takes away the factor of somebody not getting to it in an hour, 2 hours, however long. And I see with Autobytel, they're doing the text as far as changing the full dealer phone number into a text line, and that's great. I know some other guys are doing that as well. But what we want to do is incentivize the customer to contact us and basically just create another driveway into the dealership. So we're not really direct competitors. I think we both offer some great value, but our leads are definitely higher quality leads. You don't have to weed through them to get to the good stuff. So. And
Scott, let me throw this back, and I know Cribbs is going to add to this, but just a question to throw back on you, and because obviously, man, if you're going by clout and you're going by, you've got that, and so let's say a dealer's listening now. Here's Chris, and it's talking about quality versus quantity, and so say a dealer comes to you and brings this, this as a concern, or as, hey, what about this guy? He said I can get less leads. I'm tired of weeding through some of this and some of that, and I can spend less money and blah 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 blah. What if a dealer said that? Tell a dealer why that necessarily is not the best way to go. Because, I got to differ with Chris on one thing, and not that he said this, but I got to differ with one thing. I think I'm in competition with you, our marketing company, because there's only X amount of dollars. And a dealer, especially a dealer, okay, no offense to dealers, it's just the way they've been for 20 years. And I imagine they're going to spawn other dealers like them, that grow through the years. They like the newest mousetrap. They like the latest and greatest thing. They like to, you can call them up and say, Joe Bob over at Ford's doing real well on this, and they go, I'm in. It's like it's a unique beast. So you're competing with dollars. So Scott, based on that, I know maybe this is more hand-to-hand combat, and you guys are kind of bombing it from up top, maybe on a larger scale. But how do you address that of a dealer? Is that a good question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what do you say to that, Scott?
So I got to tell you, first of all, the fact that Chris and how that company has intertwined text is impressive, and that shows that they're on. I know you're trying to pick a fight between us, and here I am complimenting them. I would
you guys can go to dinner after.
Listening.
I'm
sorry, I missed what you said.
No, I said you guys listen. All you guys, we're not trying to pick a fight, but listen, if
I'll
you guys
throw some punches with JD, who's on next with me. We've had some good debates, but no. Again, on the flip side, if what they're doing regarding text, it's not just the millennials. It's everybody. It's the baby boomers. It's my mother who lives in Fort Lauderdale, who's turning 75 this year. She doesn't pick up the phone. She doesn't email. She texts me. So I love, Chris, what I heard as far as what you guys are doing with the text. As far as Chris had mentioned, well, that's why our quality is better than Autobytel's. Listen, I can't comment on Chris's quality. I've never filled out a lead form. I don't know what their quality is, so I'm not going to say my quality is any better or any worse than Chris. That would be an uneducated statement. But having said that, as far as our quality goes, we have a quality pledge. I mean, if it isn't valid at the end of the day, you're not paying for it. If I'm connecting you with on a phone call, again, a lot of our used car leads are phone call, with a consumer real time that's on a piece of your inventory, whether it's Yahoo Autos, one of our affiliates, or one of our flagship sites like usedcar.com, autobytel.com, car.com, and they're on your inventory, and it's a phone call, and I connect them to one of your salespeople, you can't comment on the quality of the lead. If the person doesn't speak English, or if it's a wrong number, hang up. We're not going to charge you for the call. But if that's a valid consumer, forget trying to get in touch with the consumer, forget leaving messages. Here you are, a live hot transfer, and we're talking about $20, $21, $22 per request, which really isn't much. Again, you got to look at your Auto Trader accounts, your Cars.com accounts, any of these flat rate subscription packages, which the majority of our competition is now. Not that there's anything wrong with Auto Trader, Cars.com, Kelly, Edmunds, the list goes on and on. But I've got to challenge everybody, what are you paying per lead? Right? If you're paying $3,000 a month and you're getting 50 leads, tell me, is it worth $150 per lead? It could very well be so, but when comparing that to Chris's solution or Autobytel's solution, we're talking about $20, $21, $22 per lead. You almost can't go wrong. You really can't.
Scott, let me ask you this real quick. What are you seeing as far as conversion rates? Because obviously I'm sure you track and run ROIs, but what do conversion rates look like when it comes to lead in different dealerships? Do you see dealerships or markets where conversion to sold units is really high, or do you see, a steady, consistent average with all dealers based on your leads? What does that look like?
So that's a great question. And when I was asked this question 15 years ago, it was an I think contest. I said to the dealer, I think the leads are closing between 8 and 10%. And the dealer used to say, well, I think your leads suck. And I said, well, I disagree. And he goes, well, you're still fired, so it doesn't matter. So it didn't matter who was right or who was wrong. We partnered up with IHS, formerly known as RL Polk. And what they do, gentlemen, they track every single lead we send to our dealer body, a little over $6 million a year. And they report back to us within 90 days who bought, from whom they bought, what they bought, even who they financed through. So to answer your question specifically, we go back to our dealers within 90 days and say, hey, we sent you 100 purchase requests, 30 of them bought, 11 of them bought from you, and the remaining consumers, one bought private party, one bought across the street from a competitor, the other one bought a different brand down the street. So to answer your question directly, we see about an 8% close rate. Again, at a $22 lead, that comes out to about a $275 cost per unit sold. competitor in the space right now is TrueCar. TrueCar is, getting into the front end gross. Sometimes they're bringing their own financing with them as well, and it seems to be a very tolerated $299 and $399 cost per unit sold, which the dealers have no problem paying. So we feel that a $275 cost per unit sold is definitely exciting for our dealers. So who's closing specifically better? The used car leads are always going to close a little quicker. The shelf life on a used car is a lot shorter than the new car. New car, we see the average buy cycle is about 42, 43 days. So they'll buy anywhere from the first day all the way up to 90 days, even a little bit past. And as far as the brands which are closing the best, we had a press release where a lot of the Korean brands seem to close pretty high. But there's no rhyme or reason. There's no reason that Subaru wouldn't be the highest closing brand this month versus Toyota next month.
Chris, go ahead and do your closing remarks here before we move on to the next segment, and then also tell dealers how they can reach you, and then I'm going to throw it back and let Scott give out his information as well.
Awesome. So basically we created this thing because dealers were complaining about third-party email leads and stuff like that. We just wanted to make sure we could connect dealers immediately, and that was the biggest thing for us. We've been doing the text lead generation for 3 years now, so truly we were the first ones there. We charge $25 a lead, but we're doing a special right now. Anybody that's watching the show can text in. If you text Chris to 76626, you'll immediately be able to take it for a test run, see how it works, see how the coupon looks, and then I'll give you a call after the show and answer any questions you might have.
Scott.
Okay, my cell phone number, definitely text work great, is 949-278-8618. On the used car side, we're a lot closer to $21 per request. And what Chris had spoken to is called text message marketing. We've had that for a few years, but we've actually gone one step further where we can basically text enable anybody's landline. And what we're also doing, it's very easy for us to do and it's very effective, is put a text us button on your website. So consumers don't have to remember a short code. They don't have to remember how to spell Chris. And we are willing to do that for free for up to 60 days. So anybody listening to the show, I'd love to hear from you as well, where we could put a button on your website. Again, my phone number, my cell, 949-278-8618. Back to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. And you know what? That we're going to move on really quickly. This has been a great opportunity for us to bring these vendors on today. And the next up, we're going to take a look at digital marketing. We have J.D. Rucker from Dealer Authority and Paul Patratz from Patratz Partners in Advertising. Gentlemen, are you here with us?
I am here, J.D.
Hi, this is Samantha Zabolski from Patratz. You were stuck with me today.
Oh, okay. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Good. Paul probably looks better in a student photo, so we're good on that then.
Paul's too busy.
I'll take Samantha over Paul any day.
Paul's too busy periscoping. Tell Paul he's going to have way more viewers if he gets on the camera here at Auto Dealer Live than he does on his Periscope. I mean, come on now. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, Paul's
I'm
at
getting
the
his Periscope here, his little Periscope things right here.
So JD, why don't you get the party started here and kind of share with dealers, what you can bring value-wise to digital marketing for them and why Dealer Authority?
Sure. So I'm going to start with the second half of your question first, as far as the why Dealer Authority component. I think that's arguably more important. We focus on search, social, and content, and there's a lot of companies nowadays that are doing that. Our big differentiator falls into three categories. First and foremost, we don't have competitors per se. There's other companies that do it. But our competitor is going to be your competitor, the dealership's competitor. So it doesn't matter whether they're with this company, that company, the other company. We focus on you. We grade ourselves based upon how many cars are you selling. We don't charge by that, but we grade ourselves based upon your success. And that gives us the kind of a unique ability because we don't have to put out contracts. We rely on our success bringing you more success. And by doing that, that puts us in this, you can't charge setup fees, you can't charge contracts. We have to live and die based on that success. But usually we live because the success is pretty strong. I think the second component, differentiator, would be that we are not beholden to OEMs. In other words, OEMs, they make relationships, they force dealers into a box. We don't work with them. We work for you. You are the client. And to that end, we offer exclusivity. If you need to be ranked number one for whatever, Ford F-150 Miami, only one of you can be, and you would be our client. We would want to work with you, and you would be the only Ford dealership in the area that we would work with. Lastly, our philosophy over the years has always been geared around making sure that we're focusing on car people. Okay, we don't hire internet marketers. We hire car people, and this has proven to be it's amazing how few people actually realize that internet marketing is easy. The car business is what's hard. Trying to take internet marketers and train them to be car marketers is totally different from taking car people and training you how to do the internet marketing part. That's the best way to do it. In other words, learning the car business, that's tough. Learning internet marketing, no problem. We've got good people: Subi Ghosh, Tyson Madliger, Christine Knowles, Jeff Black, and we've got all these people that have worked in the automotive industry for a long, long time. And we try to pull people from dealerships: Ray Black, Brian West, Willis Williams. We're trying to pull car people and teach them SEO, content, and social media. Lastly, our focus being sales means that everything that we do is geared around driving traffic to your website. Scott had mentioned the $21 a lead. That's awesome. Okay, I have nothing against buying leads. I think that's a good way to supplement. But I see a lot of people that are buying traffic and often paying, $2, $3, $5, $10 for traffic. That's ridiculous. Okay, you don't have to do that. You can buy traffic through dark post social media, through SEO. You can get valid shoppers to the right pages on your website for under $1. Okay, I don't want to go into details. I've seen as low as 20, 30 cents. The whole concept of spending $3, $4, $5 for a website visitor, it's obsolete. It's obtuse. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you, JD. And Samantha, we'll go back to you with Paul Petrat's advertising. Samantha, first of all, tell us what you really bring to the table. Tell us why dealers should spend their marketing dollars with your company, and then maybe also respond to JD and maybe share with us if your company has that same kind of philosophy as far as hiring people from within the business to come on board with you.
Yeah, thank you. So one of the things that our company was founded on, and we're a 10-plus-year-old company, was really making sure that we do one thing and doing it really well, and that's automotive marketing. If you visit our website, it's exclusively automotive.com for a reason. And one of the things we've done over this 10-year-plus experience, and I'll address that question about how we hire people, is we found people in and outside of the automotive industry that understand the industry or don't, or understand marketing and they don't. So our agency has created an 8-week apprenticeship program in which all of our employees go through. And with this 8-week apprenticeship program, what we do is we train them both the in and outs of the automotive industry, as well as the in and outs of marketing. So our agency covers everything from traditional media, digital media, social media, and websites. With that, we're able to create a comprehensive strategy for our dealers, whether or not they utilize all of those services with us. And now that's the benefit, because when we're taking a look at how our dealers are spending their money, where we're all on this call today fighting for that dollar figure, trying to drive those leads for our dealerships, what we're able to do is say, based on performance, based on the lead provider, here's the best allocation for your fund. Here's where you're driving the majority of your conversions and where those individuals are being sold cars, where that quality lead is. And that's what we look for in the campaigns that we create, is targeting shoppers throughout the buying funnel, but driving a better qualified lead to the dealership. So they're not out there spending $35 for a third-party lead. Instead, they have a more cost-effective strategy that's creating a higher closing ratio for the dealerships themselves.
Thank you, Samantha. And I'm going to pose this next question to JD. JD, what do you do when, you're trying to reach a dealer and the dealer says, well, hey, look, I'm good. I've got this covered. We've got a handle on our social media, whatnot. What do you say to that dealer? Why do they need dealer authority?
Sure. So I asked them, if it's social media, the easiest question is, so how much traffic, how many sales are you getting off of social media? The answer is always, and when I say always, I've asked this question probably 150 times over the last year and a half. The answer is, I don't know, or some, or whatever. we track everything, okay? If a dealership wants to spend, say, $3,000 and use social media dark posts to target Polk-level people that are in the market within the local area, drive them to BDPs or search results pages and be able to track exactly what they do, then they call us. If they want to, yeah, no big deal, I got social, I post pictures of cats, I post pictures of cars, whatever, that's not us, okay? We're not here for obscurity. We're here to drive trackable traffic in the hundreds, even thousands, for a very low budget. And that's the part where our dealers, the people that sign up on a month-to-month contract with no setup fee, stay with us indefinitely. Okay, I don't ever fear losing dealers because we find them success. We help them sell cars, and we do it in a trackable manner. As far as SEO, when that question comes up, that's easy. Just pull up a bunch of searches, look at their search traffic. Are they achieving 60, 70, 80% year-over-year increases in organic traffic? Are they selling a ton more cars than last year? We're in an up market. So, yeah, we're selling 11% more than last year. That's not good enough, okay? If you're doing everything right, if the market is selling 11%, you should be selling 22% increase year over year. Forget about being par. It's easy to be par, okay? We're not here for dealers that want to be par. We're here for dealers that want to be exceptional.
Yeah, I think those increased numbers are important to point out when we are going through this boom. Samantha, back to you. Let's share with us as well. You know, why Paul Patratz? Why, how do you get a dealer's attention and say, hey, this is what we can do for you?
So one of the things that I think is really important is how you track performance and what you're doing to be a partner, not just a vendor. I mean, so many times we hear that, but are you getting in a dealership and physically being there and seeing the details that need to be improved upon outside of the scope of work which you're providing that client? So I can put up a landing page, but that may not be where the problem really lies. The issue may be in the communication between the client and the potential customer at the dealership, being the templates that they're utilizing in their CRM or their response time. So diving it down to be more of a minute strategy, finding out the specific needs of that dealership other than just the advertising. I mean, we can all provide that in one form or another. But what are we doing that's unique to our companies? And so one of the things we do is we track all of our dealership sales as well as their leads. We go through that, listen to their phone calls, supply them recommendations, go through their CRM. So we're in all of these tools that the dealerships are utilizing in addition to the strategy that we're putting forth. Because if we implement a strategy and drive all of these leads to a dealership, if they're not closing those leads, well, that is nothing for either of us. They're not being that progressive dealership at that point. So that's where we look to separate ourselves and really work on that foundation of education. Paul's out there speaking. I'm out there speaking. Thinking Tuesday, Hard Facts, all of the webinar series, we're founded on the principle of education. And that's one of the unique advantages we bring to all of our clients as well.
Preach it, sister. That was awesome.
All right. And then I think we had someone drop in on a call. Mike, do we have someone in on a call? Is this Matt Koenig? Matt Koenig?
It is.
Matt.
Buscador.
That's right. Well, you know what? It's funny, man, because Chris was talking with you guys earlier about I Call Auto Leads, our text product. And, there were a couple of things that, you know me, I can't show up, right? So I'm here screaming at the screen as I'm hearing some of this dialogue. And I'll give a shout out to Scott because he did a really good job. He came across so nice, but there were like some backhanded compliments slid in there. And there was some stuff that I heard that I was like, wait a minute, we need to make sure that we don't just let that slide past. Like, I heard a couple things where, he talked about, well, Chris said, what they've got text marketing. And that's really cool if it was true, but it's not, because it's not what we do. See, text marketing is what, Auto by Tel and some of these guys have just now gotten into because they think texting is new. But text marketing is outbound shit. That's like Starbucks, man. Listen, it's a car dealer. Nobody wants a text from you every single week asking if you bought a car. What we do is very simple. We connect dealers with buyers, and we get out of the way. So ever since day one, we've been 100% compliant. We don't have dealers jumping through 93 hoops and customers having to be opted into some list because they're not going to receive a bunch of BS outbound texts and all that crap after. I Call Auto Leads is totally different. And the reason this came together, no joke, a little over 3 years ago, I had left Edmunds, and the biggest complaint I heard from dealers was, man, we need more leads. Every time I talk to a dealer, I say, what can we do for you? Man, if you could give me more people to talk to, and I don't need more of these shitty email leads that I'm buying from people. I don't want to be playing email tag. I don't want to be chasing them around in CRM. I want people that I can really talk to on the phone. So I created a simple system utilizing technology that was already in place, by the way. Just note to everybody, we've been texting for like 2 decades now. But I used a simple technology so that a customer could simply get what they wanted in less than a minute, and a dealer could get what they wanted. So when a customer texts, sure, they get a digital coupon, a message that lets them know the dealer's calling, but the dealer gets the golden goose. The dealer gets the mobile phone number from the customer at the exact second that they're staring at their ad. So think about, and I'm not going to just pick on Autobytel, but I'll say Autobytel dealers and everybody else that, sells piles of leads for dealers to sort through. These guys, what they do, they have different micro sites, win an iPod, get an iPhone 6, and they got all these surveys that ask the customer, when are you in the market? Are you in the market in the next 3 months? Customer says, yeah, well, boom, then let's call that a lead and let's sell it to a dealer for $20. That's cool if you believe that philosophy of Joe Verdi, which is everybody's a buyer. The only question is when. So I'm not saying that eventually those people don't buy cars. But I call auto leads. What we do is we connect that customer when they've already decided to go, you know what, I think I want to Toyota Camry. Now I'm on cars.com. I'm looking through 20 dealers. And now they're down to going, I'm ready to pick where I buy. So who's got the deal? And then they see this call to action and they go, man, I wonder what the deal is over there at Sealy Ford in Kalamazoo.
Well,
boom, they text Sealy to 76626 and pow, instantly dealer buyer connect. We ring the dealer's phone. We connect into the buyer. So, I appreciate how nice Scott was to Chris and the compliments he gave him. But, let's face it, Scott is not the only one. All these guys are talking about text like it's something brand new. And hell, we've been doing it for over 3 years, and we didn't invent the wheel.
Well,
so,
Matt, those are
Autobytel and everybody saying texting is new. Welcome to 2015, and welcome to the game, boys. But it's been around a while.
Matt, those are great points, and I'm glad that you were able to call in. Let me throw that back to Scott. If you're still on the line with us, Scott, maybe you. Okay, Scott's not on the line. Okay, well, Scott.
I can speak for Scott.
Who's this?
That's JD.
JD, go ahead.
Yeah, JD, jump on in, brother.
Let's do this, guys. We're basically wrapping this part of the show up. Let's take about 3 minutes and let's do this. All right, let's throw some oil in the ring and let's have it freestyle for a minute. So you guys talk a little bit because look, you guys are all in the same wheelhouse a little bit. So anybody who's left on the show, let's comment on that a little bit and talk because I think this is a hot button for dealers because when it all comes down to what we're all doing, really are providing leads. Really, what this really comes down to, dealers can care less about anything other than, hey, what Matt just said, how can I help you? Give me more bodies. Find me, because the truth of the matter is they're standing out in the point smoking cigarettes, they're salesmen, and, without providing leads for them, they're going to starve, right? So they're going to go to the store who is providing leads. So go ahead, JD.
Yeah, so it's perfect. And you said give me more leads. I'm going to slightly disagree because I'm going to go. In today's world, you want to get more sales no matter what. Leads are going down for the most part. So anytime that you can do something that can generate sales, true sales, and that in many cases in the form of leads. Sometimes it's in the form of a text lead. Sometimes it's a phone up. Sometimes they just drive into the dealership. The focus, and it's funny that you brought on these companies because you picked out some pretty killer companies. I have nothing bad to say about Potras, for example, other than 3 words, Paul, if you're listening, Dollar Shave Club. Okay, just keep those 3 words in mind. It's time to move on. With that said, having Matt on, having Scott on, having the CRM companies on, the sale, people say, well, we can only generate leads from there. It starts. It's in your camp. That's not true today. The sale starts online. The sale starts when they're looking at your inventory. Okay, the sale starts when they go to your website, when they go to these third-party sites. They're in buying mode. So taking advantage of the fact that the sale is already beginning, once they get to your lot, a lot of times they already know how much their trade is worth, what financing they can get, how much the car is selling for everywhere else. Now you're closing the deal at the dealership, but the sale doesn't start once they hit the lot. The sale starts once they go online and start researching. And that's why it's so important for dealers to remember that your presence online, whether it's on Buscador de Auto, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on search, whether it's on third-party sites, wherever they go, when they're looking at you, you have to have the strongest possible presence. because the sale starts then. That's what separates, at least for dealer authority, that's what separates us, because we do believe in that, and we've been able to demonstrate that. We've been able to help dealers to really, truly increase their sales. Leads should go up. If you're driving, an extra 2,000-3,000 visitors, of course you're going to get more leads. But we don't necessarily look at that as the defining function of what we do. You have to sell more cars in whatever way possible. Somehow get people to come into the dealership to sign on the line that is dotted. That is the key for all of us here on the phone, even the CRM companies. Okay, the CRM, it's not about leads, it's about how you handle leads afterwards. That's great. They might not be generating leads, but they're still participating in getting the sale done. And that's what digital marketing companies need to do today.
Hey, gentlemen, I just want to let you know Scott Beckstown dialed back in here.
All right. Hey, Scott, go ahead and give us your input.
We keep hijacking my friend JD. He's going to come strangle me. No, as far as texting, gentlemen, Matt, nice to see you, nice to hear from you. As I mentioned, we had acquired that company about 2 years ago, so it is not new to us. We've been sending text leads to dealers for about 2 years now. And again, Matt, nothing against you guys. I think the fact that you guys have been doing texting, I guess you said 3 years.
Did you say sexting?
Hats off to you guys.
Hey,
hats off to you guys.
Scott, did you just say sexting? It sounded like you had a lisp in the beginning. Did you say sexting? You literally.
Did I say sexting?
You may have.
Where's my mind? I said texting, guys.
Okay.
So, hey, Matt, I do have to correct you on one thing. And Matt, respectfully, you know better. You know better. We would never send what you would refer to as a hand raiser, somebody that might be in the market for a car. I mean, technically, you could argue everybody's in the market for a car at one time or another. That's not how we operate. Our requests that we send to our dealers are all real time for a consumer that either submitted a text lead, a phone call, or an email request. We don't play that game. Matter of fact, I couldn't even tell you a lead provider out there that's still in business that does play that game. So you know better. You're in the industry, and I wouldn't suggest that. I wouldn't insinuate that. Even to the competitor that I hate the most, I couldn't tell you and sit here and truthfully say that anybody does that. Recycled leads are, if somebody's purposely selling recycled leads, shame on them. They're probably not still in business.
Well, and I'll jump in on two things. So one, if that's changed, then kudos to that. I remember when we were buying leads, and I did think he said sexting too, so that was funny that they jumped on that. We were getting leads back in the day, even when they were coming through via fax from ABT. So let's just say that was way in the way back, right? But the reality is, dealers are complaining about muddling through and pound through stuff. And JD said something, and I love JD Rucker, by the way, and I think it's fantastic. So JD said something though, and I'm gonna chime in, and I'm gonna disagree a little bit, because dealers do go, I want sales. But let's face it, when it comes to marketing, advertising, I don't care who it is, whether it's direct mail from IPD mail, whether it's somebody, and I will say this, everybody that's on, text Chris to 76626 and see how it works. You'll see what Chris meant when he said it was fast. But no matter what it is, if you're hiring an advertiser, their job isn't to sell a car for you. Listen, bring me into your dealership, write a big enough check, I'll spend the time, and I'll teach your people how to sell cars. But if you want to use us for advertising, or you use an Auto by Tel for advertising, you're using them to advertise. You're not hiring them to be the sales trainer. They don't sell cars. We don't sell cars. I'm the first to tell you this. Listen, can I do it and walk in your store? Absolutely. I'm a rock star. But that's not what you're hiring us for. You're hiring us to give your people opportunities to sell cars. So, and I get what JD's saying. The end goal is wherever you're getting your leads, your marketing, whatever, the end game is to sell cars. But I have to jump in on that language, because a lot of times dealers are saying, well, how many cars will you sell me? And I just honestly say, I will sell you 0, because I'm not one of your salespeople. But here's about how many opportunities I'll put in front of you, and they're the best quality opportunities out there, period. So I think it's important to clarify that your vendors don't sell you cars. Cars.com will never sell you a thing. Neither will Edmunds. Neither will Auto by Tel, and neither will we. But I'll put the best quality people in front of you, no matter what. Hands down, if you've only got one place to spend, that ad budget to drive more traffic, pick up the phone, call Chris, call me. You won't find a better quality place to put your money in, and you will make more than you spend. No question.
Well, I think it's important to pay attention to what you're saying there, too, though, is how many cars are you going to sell me? It's like getting the question, how many more leads are you going to drive me? I can drive you more leads, but how is that going to affect your closing ratio? So when you're taking a look at the quality of those leads, it's not just quantity, it's quality. If I can drive you more leads or the same amount of leads, but increase those quality leads, your team is working smarter, not harder, increasing your closing ratio at the same time, allowing all of that marketing effort that our companies are putting forth to be better. That's when you get to work with those progressive dealerships, not the dealerships that are worried about the quantity, because quantity is equality and that doesn't equal sales.
That's exactly what Chris said earlier. I'm so glad you said that.
So far, it's funny because the person I was allegedly debating with, I've agreed with pretty much everything she said. So kudos. We should talk later. We're hiring. No, don't tell Paul that.
If you go to Periscope,
this is not a recruiting call.
JD, if you go to
no doubt.
JD, if you go to Periscope right now, we could tell Paul that. Samantha, Paul, we could tell Paul that right now. Just type it in there, and Paul, Samantha's being recruited.
I ain't going anywhere. So good luck.
I'll be tweeting you later.
I think we should do. Hey, what I think, just I'm gonna say it on the air. I think Subi and Samantha should go at it one day and really get some nice debate going on. That might be a good one too.
Boom.
I don't know. Samantha did mention at one point that she may take Subi. I don't know. That's getting back at Subi.
Subi and I would be a fun conversation, but we probably, like JD and I, have a lot of similar points.
It is true, because here's the thing, and I think everybody, it's sad because again this is a debate, but we're all basically singing the same basic tune in that it is quality. One thing that I will say, and I didn't say, Matt, I didn't say that we're going to help you sell. We're going to sell more cars for you. I'm telling you that the sale process starts online before they do anything else, and this goes back to Samantha's point. You can drive traffic to your website, or you can drive the right targeted traffic to the right pages that are going to help you represent the dealership in a way that could generate a lead, that could put them in front of inventory where they have the text feature that you have available, and they see the inventory, they text you, so it all ties in together. Did the text feature help to generate the lead? Absolutely. Did driving them to that page through social media or search help to generate the lead? Absolutely. Everything has to tie together in a way that it gets people to interact with the dealership in a meaningful way, whether that's by texting them, whether that's by calling them, whether it's by driving into the dealership and coming to buy the car. So I never said we would sell your cars for you. What I said is that the sale process starts even if the first thing they see is going to be your text product.
Hey guys, let me jump in for 1 second because we're like way over on time, but just taking a couple of more minutes here. But I do want to read this question because this is about dealers and they're continually texting me questions here that are coming in. But this one's from Sydney. He's with BMW, Lexus, Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz store in Texas. He says, "What can you suggest for someone that does IM for years, but current dealership is hesitant to change?" Does someone want to take that question?
I'd love to, but I've spoken too much, so I'll pass unless nobody else wants it.
Okay. Somebody? Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Repeat the question, then, because I'm sure that somebody on this call would love to interact with that.
Well, sure.
Go ahead.
He's saying, what can you suggest for someone that does IM for years, but current dealership is hesitant to change?
So I think that first and foremost, you have to look at the sales numbers. People will say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I disagree. If it's broke, you fix it. If it ain't broke, see if there's room for improvement. Only until you're absolutely certain that you're doing everything spot on, that's when you don't make changes. You should always be tweaking, always be finding how to improve on what you're doing. I think that right now we're faced with that a lot. A lot of dealerships are like, you know what? Our sales are up 11% year over year. The national average for our brand is 10% year over year. We're winning, okay? That's not winning. You don't want 10% more. You don't want 11% more. You want 40% more. You want 50% more. There are ways that you can incrementally increase the number of sales that you're making, both new and used. You can incrementally increase your success level at in fixed ops and service. Okay, the biggest problem for dealers today is that they're successful, even if they don't deserve to be. More buyers are buying today than there were a couple of years ago. So dealers are like, well, there's no need to make a change. I'm selling more. That's the wrong mentality. So find out, compare it. If you're an internet manager and you're looking at the numbers, you're seeing, well, traffic's up. It's up about 12%. Okay, and sales are up about 9%. What is happening in the industry? What's happening with your brand? What's happening with your competitors? Are you still getting beaten? Okay, are other people, unless you are number one in your area, you're not good enough. Okay? If you ain't first, you're last. We're pulling out all these grantisms, but that's the truth. You have to look at it from a perspective of, if it ain't broke, it still might need to be fixed. So look at the numbers, find out, are you truly exceptional or are you mediocre? Mediocre is still an increase today. So shoot for exceptional. That's what I would tell them.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, we got to stop because we're out of time. But let me ask you this seriously. Erica Sims, she works for you, JD. There's great car girl, says love the right. Am I right?
Yeah.
Did I say something wrong?
Yeah.
Loves the open conversation. She said loves the open conversation going on Auto Dealer Live, and and that's really what it is. Yeah. I think that's the cool part about this. So I'm going to ask you guys if you'd be open, and maybe we could even dialogue and find a couple of others that would want to come on and really kind of just let's throw some problems in the auto business out there and kind of have another one of these open discussions, as Erica said. And we can, would you guys be open to coming back here real soon if we can put something like that together?
Only if Matt and Samantha and everybody else is on. I like this group.
Matt?
Well, since you've said Samantha works for JD, that was the best statement I've heard all day, and I hope that ProTrack is the same.
Did I say Samantha?
Listen, I know the second best line was.
I thought you said Erica.
No, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't say.
Erica.
I'm sorry. Did I say
Maybe I missed
Samantha?
it.
Seriously,
No, you didn't.
Okay, I said
She
Erica.
misheard you. You did say Erica Sims. Erica Sims does work for me.
Oh, my bad.
She's awesome, and yes, she should have. But it's Samantha. Like I said, I know it's going to be hard. I know you can't say it publicly, but call me.
Now I know you guys are all just trying to get everybody out there confused. I work for ProTrack.
We know that. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
I'm
we
sorry.
know.
I meant I was just looking at Twitter and saw where Erica and said just love the open conversation, and it made me think that really this is turned into that, and this dealers have problems, and you guys are in my opinion all solutionist, if that's a word. You're providing solutions, and you're doing a great job at it. So I want to invite you back. Scott, would you come back?
I would be honored, gentlemen. I'd love to get some of the big boys up here too. Cars Trader. I'd love for a bunch of us to get in the room and kind of duke it out.
Agreed.
Awesome.
They won't get in the room with you, Scott. You already know they're not coming to fight you.
All right. Well, then we have something to work on. Then, guys, I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for coming on and making yourself available. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Tammy. I almost took my headset off. Hey, listen, real quick, we're way over, but you know what? We're on the internet. So the show, the regular scheduled program that was supposed to come on 15, 20 minutes ago will be aired in its entirety.
Will air in its entirety.
Right after this. So, hey, the next up is Get Your Social On.
Hello, friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Get Your Social On. I'm Erin Ryan.
And I'm Amanda Ryan.
And whether you've been with us for an entire year, can you believe it?
Oh my gosh.
Or if you're brand new to Auto Dealer Live or Get Your Social On, we heart you.
We do.
Thank you so much for your support, and we hope you continue to watch.
Watch us. We appreciate you all. We really, really do. Your comments, your retweets, your support in watching this, as well as our previous and past video. Oh my goodness, you guys have an awesome community. So
You really are.
We love you. And what?
If you are brand new, we just happen to talk about digital marketing. We do hyper focus on social media, but we want to help you get better at content marketing, digital marketing, social media, all of that together combined for your business.
Right.
And today just happens to be no different.
No different, friends.
Today's awesome topic just happens to be how to ensure you're properly targeting on Facebook. Well, you got to figure out where you're going to target on Facebook. Now, yes, you can look at your posts on your page and you can see that right below it, you can target certain areas, which is fantastic, only if organic reach wasn't so dead. But it is. So you need to use Facebook ads.
Yes, and a pay to play. We've said that time and time again. So you want to make sure you're getting some return on investment. And you got to make sure that you're taking the time to put content on Facebook but it's reaching the real live person, right?
Yeah, you want to make sure it's reaching somebody that's in your area that can walk in your dealership.
Yeah, that can actually buy a car from you.
Don't have Facebook be useless to you.
No, make it work. So you want to target with your Facebook ads your local and surrounding areas. Your geo-targets.
Yeah, pull from search engine optimization.
Yeah.
Use those geo-targets because, the people that are taking care of your SEO did the research on which areas are best to use. Well, why not use that for social media too?
It's like double time them.
Yeah, absolutely. So your local and surrounding areas. Pick your local area. Pick 4 to 5 other areas around in your surrounding areas. And you can do more than that if you want to. It depends on your bid, but it doesn't cost more to add more.
Right.
The thing is that's great is you're able to target people that matter.
Exactly. For those likes that you want, the engagement, the sharing, the commenting, as well as the click to your website, right? When you go and you put an inventory post and you put that out as a piece of content, you want people to click through that who are actually local, who can fill out the form, who can call you and say, hey, I want to come in on Saturday for an oil change, or for you to look at my vehicle, or to buy a vehicle. Those are the things you want. So that's why you need to use Facebook ads and your geo targets.
You don't win the lottery if you don't play.
Right.
All right, so you want to check its performance, and sure, you can go to the ad itself or the ads, and you can see it's going to show you the peaks and valleys, and you'll be able to see how it's performing. But let's be real. You're looking about, am I targeting the right people? So it's going to show you, yes, you're targeting the people because you're paying to target those people.
But is it working? That's what you want to find out.
So you'll see in some of your ads within a campaign, some that do better than others. But you'll also be able to see if you go to your insights. Right. And that's where it's a great place to observe which places you should be targeting.
Yeah, and so you want to check under people.
Yeah, you go to insights at the top of your page, you click on people, you'll see your demographics real quick, and then what you'll see is your country. You want to make sure that's number 1, right?
Exactly.
You'll see cities.
Yeah. So if you're in Cincinnati, Ohio, you want Cincinnati, Ohio to be your top 1.
You do. However, if you live in a small rural area, don't be surprised if it's not number 1. And it's okay if it's not number 1. You want to make sure it's in your top 10, your top 5, more like it, or your top 3.
Right.
Right? But here's a great place to find other areas that you may not be targeting that you could be targeting.
Exactly. So if you pay attention, you will find what you're looking for. And Facebook ads will let you know. Facebook Insights will let you know. And you can see the return on investment happening, that what you're putting in is actually coming back to you.
And you can get even more return on investment if you happen to go look at the insights, make sure, okay, I'm using these targets as well. So if you're targeting Hamilton, but it's showing Middletown, then you need to go and get Middletown added on to your
Facebook ads. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be targeting those people because they're the ones that are checking out your stuff.
So it all works for you if you're going in, you're observing, you're watching, you're monitoring, as well as adjusting when it needs to happen. So local will work for you if you make sure that you're putting it into your Facebook ads and you're paying attention to what's happening in those insights.
Right, absolutely. It is time for Get Your Social On, social shout-outs. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, this is our time where we give appreciation back to the automotive community, and we want to connect you to
get
other
you
people.
Together.
Yeah, get you guys talking and chatting on Twitter. And we just so happen to have at Red and Gold TW as a social shout out this week.
Hello.
At S Brickhouse 2. Hi to you.
Hi.
At Brooke Melodoni, and I hope I said it right. Please let me know. At Crispier 1. Thank you so much for being this week's social shout outs. And if you want to be a social shout out, you totally can. You just follow me at the Erin Ryan.
At Amanda Shares.
Or at GYSO Addicts, which is us together. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So tweet at us. Use hashtag GYSO or hashtag or GYSO Addicts. We're here for you. We're here for you.
Yeah. And you can be here. You can be featured on the screen in front of the community and get maybe some more followers or connect with like-minded people. Right. That would be fantastic. You can also head on over to Facebook, facebook.com/groups/GYSO, and you can chat with us. You can ask us questions about content marketing, digital marketing.
Share pictures with us.
Social media.
Ted Hip. Yeah. He recently shared his GYSO bracelet that
I'm
Erin
wearing
is so greatly wearing.
sporting
here. Sporting it. So you could share those with us, and we love to see those. We love your support. We appreciate you all.
Or any topics that you might have.
Yes, for any shows, any
you might have.
questions,
That would
we're
be
here.
fantastic. We're here to help you out.
We
You
are.
can also enjoy the year of Get Your Social On.
A marathon. Sit down on a Saturday.
Popcorn it.
No.
Get some friends over or some folks from the dealership.
Yeah. Have a GYSO party.
Do it up. Get the pictures taken. Share it socially. Get it?
Yeah.
Wikimotive.com/GYSO is where you can go and check out all the videos from the very beginning. Thank you again so much for a wonderful year. Until next week, friends.
Get your social on.
Get your social on. Get your social on. Get your social on. Get your social on.
I'm in this world and they made me a monster. And if you want to feature on your record, it'll cost ya. Seen so many men turn imposters and going sell they soul for some money and some sponsors. And the youth feel entitled. Got the whole world and it's feeling suicidal. We all on the brink, but we need to stop and think. And we need to learn to swim, not to train how to sink. And I'm feeling out of sync and I haven't been myself. And I'm feeling pretty down, but I never asked for help.